Entering the lion's den.
I am from Afghanistan.
Mum, you might want to sit this one out.
Hello, how are you?
We are at the Taliban checkpoint.
Foreign officers advise against all travel. We're going anyway.
Abandoned American bases. Naturally, we want to go and have a look. Pants are getting slightly brown.
They said, don't afraid, we are Muslim.
Thinking, okay, maybe we should get out.
Hide your camera.
Tally guys around us with big guns. I don't think that I have been so scared in my life.
Entering the lion's den. The country that we have all heard for God knows how long, about how dangerous it is. Foreign officers advise against all travel, but we're going anyway.
Let the games begin. I've borrowed a couple of clips from Hanze, and this was an exercise in bloody pain. What would take 10-20 minutes in every other country, it took about 4 or maybe 5 hours of going from office to office, back to the first office, to the next office, and the next one.
I don't speak Farsi, sorry. I don't understand you. Okay.
It was bloody murder. To be fully transparent, this border was my idea, but it also saved us a 1,000-kilometer detour.
Okay.
By the time we finished all the paperwork on the Iranian side, it was well dark. This border was crazy. Hundreds of kids everywhere, people begging, smuggling. There were people getting beaten up by the guards in front of our eyes. It was nuts. The Afghanistan part of the border was very easy. It took maybe 1 minute to cross. They literally just checked our papers and took a picture, then sent us on our way. Now we are in Zaranj, desperately trying to find a place where we could sleep. Since no travelers and no foreigners come to the city, there were no hotels. We went from place to place to place to only find shut doors, forever shut, and no place where we could go. Whenever we would stop, people would immediately gather around our bikes, and eventually some locals offered to help us out with our hotel search. The city traffic occasionally got a bit crazy to navigate, and as you can notice, there are no number plates, and of course there is no insurance, there are no rules, just chaos. The local guy was saying that there might be a hotel here, but there wasn't. We kept hitting the same problem that we've had from the start. Every single place that was supposed to be a hotel was long shut. It is now 10-11 p.m. We're getting really tired and desperate. The guy kept offering us from the start to stay in his house, and eventually we took him up on that offer.
On my travels, things generally always went well, so I'm hoping that this time is no different, despite, whatever reputation Afghanistan has. I would be lying if I said that I'm not scared.
We're following Abdul's car, and I'm getting increasingly nervous about getting further and further out of town. The images of media that I've seen of things that can happen to foreigners in Afghanistan rolling through my head.
The dust is brutal. I really wish I had a mask right now.
The total darkness doesn't really add confidence. Tall walls and just the lights of the car in front of us. After pulling into the courtyard and being greeted by Abdul's family, the fear is slowly starting to melt away. When I say members of his family, I mean only the male members. You cannot meet a female that is not related to you. We occasionally hear them through the door, but we have never seen any. Early in the morning, we're out the door and heading back into the city, trying to find a place where we can buy SIM card before heading onwards to Herat. The GoPro microphone is glitching again, so I have to narrate everything. First stop of the day was money exchange. We've had no local money, and of course our Western cards are no good in this country. Hannes goes off and I get immediately surrounded by locals, mostly asking me where I'm from, what I'm doing in Afghanistan, and welcoming me to their country. They are very friendly, very nice people, but the language barrier is real.
Yes, I can help you. No problem.
Yeah, I know. Now we're just trying to get to the exchange office, but my friend is looking around for it, and I'm waiting for him to get back. We're following this guy leading us to the SIM cards, hopefully. Whenever we stop for more than 2 seconds, there's 100 people around us.
This was quite funny. The guy was walking us quite a distance, and we kept trying to ride at walking speed, which was not easy.
I am from Afghanistan.
Oh yeah.
I live in Zaranj city.
We have arrived at the SIM card place and got immediately surrounded.
Well, Hans is dealing with the SIM cards, and I am entertaining the crowd.
Eventually we sorted out all the paperwork, got the SIM cards, and it was time to hit the road.
Okay, that was eventful. It was a bit of a mess, and we can set off for Herat. However, it is now 12 o'clock. Herat is supposed to be 6 hours or over 6 hours. I guess we will see how the day goes, because we don't want to ride at night here, but also there's not much between Herat and here. So well, first Taliban checkpoint, so far no issues. I've decided to do a small detour to one of these desert structures, because this just looks fascinating. Look at that. I'm not sure where Hans is. I know he really wants to reach Herat today. I think it's possible that we might have to go our separate ways, because I really have no intention of just riding through this country as fast as possible without seeing anything.
And Hannes needs to rush to Tajikistan to catch his flight home to Germany. I have no idea where I am and what this is, but
how cool is this place? I'm not 100% sure how safe it is to be here.
But come on, a structure like this in the middle of the desert, you can't just not go and have a look.
Favorite saying is, you can't win if you don't play.
There have been another couple of structures that I've seen from the road that I really wanted to see, but I also didn't want to leave Hannes hanging, since we have agreed to ride to Herat together.
I wonder what these were. This place is enormous.
Riding through this town, I have seen an abandoned base and decided to backtrack a little bit. It looks empty, but also pretty ominous. A piece of destroyed armor by the gate, nobody around.
I would love to go inside, but it looks like it wouldn't be a problem. But it's one of those things that you don't really want to risk.
You never know who and what's in there and what will they think if they see you. Alright, checkpoint.
Salam alaikum. How are you? So far, all my interactions with Taliban were very easy. Let's hope it stays that way. Another old American base. It looks like the Americans had really huge amount of prisons, because every town we've passed so far has a military base. I
like every single one.
First checkpoint where we are actually getting pulled over.
Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Oh, sorry, I don't speak any Farsi or Pashto. Czechia, Czech Republic. No Farsi, sorry. Czech and English. Salam.
Hannes is getting checked a lot more thoroughly, and I'm really grateful for having two nationalities at this point. I'm not quite sure what the distinctions are between the Taliban fighters. Some of them are fully covered up with only their eyes being visible, but most of them just wear civilian clothing.
First Taliban control where they actually checked my passport and visa.
Heard the GoPro sound died completely. These guys stopped me at the checkpoint in the middle of nowhere, and it was an interesting situation where they, for instance, asked me if they could keep my camera. They took a couple of pictures with me, and in the end they just sent me on my way after they showed me the M16 or M4 or whatever it is, and the fact that it says the property of the United States government on it. We didn't get anywhere near Herat. We're now in the middle of nowhere and it got dark, so in the end our only option was
We are at the Taliban checkpoint, prompted by Hans's thought that would be a good idea to ask them if we can sleep here. That is where we are sleeping.
I was one Taliban covered with a bed.
It's been an interesting experience. They have invited us for dinner, which was nice, and generally they've been nice to us. But the communication is difficult because we don't speak the language and there is no reception. So we cannot use translate. And when we used downloaded language on Google Translate, sometimes it would say something like about a fish.
Or you are a cherry.
And yes, or you are a cherry. There have been some questions about religion and Islam, which is when you start, to feel that you are walking on a knife's edge. It is not that long ago, when they beheaded people. Being in a really remote area at a Taliban checkpoint, you are kind of aware of this. Start, having a conversation about religion and so on. We are going to try to get some sleep in the next room where all the guys are, where we had dinner. It's like we're eating dinner, and behind us on the wall is a row of AKs and M16.
But we had chicken.
We had chicken. We had bread. It was good chicken.
And more, you had the thicker pieces of chicken than me.
Hans is always complaining that he thinks somebody else had more food, which is never true. He just eats it too fast and then he keeps watching your plate, being like, oh, I should have more. Yeah, well, we'll try to get some sleep and then head out in the morning, and hopefully it's all good. And this is day 2, or rather night 2 in Afghanistan. Off to an interesting start. Any comments, Hans?
The light. I really like the light. I think it will be easy to fall asleep with the light. But so far, I think that is what I expected about Afghanistan. Sleeping in a, I don't know how to call it, barrack, with a guy who's 2 meters in front of the door with an AK-47 protecting you and the bikes. What more could I ask for?
Maybe the guy not having the AK-47. That would be a good start. I would feel a lot better.
We didn't really sleep much, and we were quite on edge after being repeatedly asked, are you Muslim, throughout the night. So despite the hospitality, we were quite happy that we're leaving.
Well, that was one of the scarier nights.
So the sunrise was certainly beautiful. We stopped to take some pictures. And if you're curious, this is what normally goes on inside Hans's helmet.
Die starke und zuverlässige Suzuki, wow, bereits ihre Dienste macht.
Why are you making noise with that lawnmower?
And here we go again, a sight that we have not seen in a while.
Crazy. Every single town. Really every single town.
The GoPro has gone completely haywire again. We've decided to visit one of the bases since the locals told us it should be okay, but the reality was very different and we were in for a big surprise.
They said, don't afraid. We are Muslim. We are sufficient guest.
Yeah.
You have breakfast with us. Don't afraid.
Yeah.
Please hide your camera. And please see if you can look, please.
Okay. Mum, you might want to sit this one out. So, we're riding through Afghanistan, and there are abandoned American bases everywhere. When we arrived at this village, there's a huge base right in front of it. Naturally, we want to go and have a look, right? We're talking to the locals and trying to ask, is it okay to go? Is it safe? Is it empty? The language is a bit of a problem, but it looks like it's okay. So we arrive to the base, and there are about 3 Taliban guys guarding it, right? They don't seem happy to see us, getting a little bit itchy. We can't use Google Translate because we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no internet. Luckily, there was a tiny bit of reception, so I called my friend in Kabul, or friend of a friend, to help translate. So he asks them, can you have tea with these guys? Be kind to them. They're tourists, they're guests. And while we communicate, about 5 more Taliban guys arrive on motorcycles. So now there's about 8 Taliban guys around us with big guns. They don't seem very happy to see us. We're trying to talk to them. At this point, we're just looking at each other. Pants are getting slightly brown, and we're just like thinking, okay, maybe we should get out. As we're trying to communicate, about 30 more arrive. So now there's a huge group, including their religious leader, who looks a bit Usama-ish, long pointy beard, big turban, the long garb, you know, the whole shebang. We're getting very, very nervous now. For you to fully understand, in Afghanistan, there's no due process. There are no embassies. There are no further sanctions you can put on them. If somebody decides to kill you there and then, that's it. They brought one guy who spoke some English to translate, and he's saying, okay, let's go this way. And he asks me, put the camera away. Normally I would sort of try to like, no, it's off, it's all good. But in this situation, you don't want to take any more risks. So they're walking us through this corridor. There are big walls, big concrete walls that are, I don't know, 8-10 meters tall. And we're going to the back of the base. They sit us down on this slab of concrete. So I'm sitting here, Hannes is sitting there, and then there is the translator guy. And in sort of a half circle around us are all the Taliban guys. Behind us is a building, and we're in this big sort of courtyard surrounded by huge walls. And they keep asking us questions. First question, of course, is, are you American? Sometimes you get asked this 5 times in a row. You give them the passport, you say everything. Again, are you American? The next question is, do you like Afghanistan? Do you like Taliban? Do you like America? I don't think that I have been so scared in my life. And that includes rock climbing without ropes, thinking I'm not gonna make the next step. The big part of this is you feel absolutely powerless. You're confined to this courtyard with a lot of people, with a lot of guns around you. Some of them are friendly, some of them are nice, some of them look like it would be nice to shoot a white guy. To an extent, this is also totally understandable. A lot of these guys would have lost family members during the war with Americans. So anyway, the next question, when things get really scary, are you Muslim? This is an important thing to understand. When you are in the Middle East, never say you're godless. Always say, ideally say you're Christian, right? The Christian God and the Muslim God is the same God. For them, Jesus is one of the prophets. Actually, all of the prophets are the same in Quran and in Christian religion. So if you say you're Christian, generally you should be okay, in most cases anyway. So I say, yeah, we're Christian. And the guy doesn't translate. He's looking at me and he says, say you're Muslim. It will make them happy. Just say you're Muslim. I'm surrounded with guys with huge guns. I will say whatever you want me to say. This goes on for about an hour and a half, after which we managed to sort of get out of there. This was my idea, mostly. Hans didn't really talk to me for about 2 hours after this. For the record, I don't want to sound like Afghanistan is a totally dangerous place, right? Like, my experience in Afghanistan is good. The people are very kind. At any point, nobody pointed a gun directly at me. Afghanistan people are really nice. They're very kind, very friendly. Most of my dealings with the Taliban, they've been okay, they've been friendly. I didn't have any problems. But it's important to be aware of this, that there are risks, and if something were to happen, there's nothing you can do. That's it. My suggestion is, if you can take it, if you have sort of nerves of steel, go to Afghanistan. It is a beautiful country. It's gorgeous. The people are really nice. It's a tough country to travel, but I think you will have a good time. That being said, accept that there are risks. The amount of relief that we got out of there is difficult to put in words. Banana. Well, this was very...
I don't know. It's just taking me a while to process the things that have happened right now.
Hi!
Yet these guys just decided to pull us over to talk to us, and they were very persistent. First they tried to pull over me, then Hans, and then they finally managed.
Banana.
Continuing
To Herat.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you? Hi. Assalamu alaikum.
What is your name? España. Huh? Britannia. This is Canberra.
Canberra.
the closer we're getting to Herat, the more bases there are.
Afghanistan is full of military gear on display everywhere.
So, do you know where we're going?
I would go to the hotel which you recommended. I'm not sure how expensive it is, but...
Welcome to Herat.
Afghanistan has surprisingly expensive hotels, especially compared to Iran, where most places are like $10, $12 a night. In Afghanistan it can be 30, 40, 50, 60 is a normal price. So we're gonna have to do a bit of running around, and
The traffic is definitely getting more dense.
Well, we have now found a hotel. A bit of haggling, it went down from 3,000 Afghani to 2, which is a bit more acceptable. Fairly luxurious compared to where we slept last night. Except what looks like a very nice bed. You see me pressing the fist in there? Yeah, I can't. It's about as hard as what we slept on last night. Like a stone. Like a bloody slab of stone. I think I might be digging out my camping mattress to make it better. Yeah, now a bit of rest and food. We need to find food.
And money.
And money. have now set up on a mission to find an ATM. So far, no luck.
ATM.
ATM, here.
ATM. Okay.
It was like we're going to public bathroom. I found the light.
Moment of truth. We tried a couple of ATMs and they all refused to accept our card, so let's see.
Not cheap money. Not cheap. Working? Oh. $7 for $100. Yay. Now I can eat. I can go eat. Yes. What happened, Hans?
It's not that easy.
Why is it not easy? Did you forget your pin?
Maybe. Maybe. Don't put my pin on your...
Show us the pin. We have gotten some cash, and now it's time to explore the nightlife.
And explore the restaurants.
I would say let's hit the bar. It's for me, the dirty martini. Definitely stirred. Waiting for proverbial, well, let's hope it's not a proverbial last dinner. Let's hope that we will meet again. Waiting on Hans. Tell us.
Of course, for me, chicken kebab
Yeah.
with rice. Sure. 2 chicken kebab.
2 chicken kebab.
And for you, you got some 8 short sticks of, I don't know, beef, fat, whatever.
I have no idea what I got. It looked good. It looked like it might be small. Let's hope it's not small. I'm hungry. It's time to have famous kebab. Hans is gonna be so sad because it's with bread. It's not giving it a rice, but it looks good. It does look good. So.
It's rice.
So how did you feel about the military base, Hans?
I really hated to be in that situation, not to be able to get out of it by myself, because like there were all the people around us. We were in this closed military base, so yeah, that was really
So what was the scariest part?
like it was a lot of the Taliban. It was 30 around us. They all, as well, like the English guy or like English-speaking guy, very serious behavior in him. Like in some people you could see like there is coldness somehow. Wasn't my type of situation I wanted to be in.
So, this is the problem I'm currently facing. On the front brake, this pin has worn out a pretty big hole in the bore that holds it. So now there's quite a bit of a hit each time I use the front brake, and it might get to the point when it gets really bad and the whole thing snaps. The plan is to try to clean it out, put in some JB weld, and hope that it's gonna improve the situation until I get to Pakistan, because you cannot ship anything to Afghanistan. Anything. It requires a special permit from Europe, from the ministry, to export anything into Afghanistan. It means it's not happening. My best chance is to ship it to Islamabad in Pakistan and hope that this field fix will work. And the fun part is I have a lot of off-roading to do, inshallah. Now the fun is really starting. It is impossible, and I mean impossible, to buy a degreaser, brake cleaner, or even alcohol, even isopropyl alcohol in this country. I'm in the second largest city. I have been to about 100, and I'm not joking, about 100 shops with car parts, bike parts, all this kind of stuff. Nothing. Of course, I need to clean the hole properly. So the first part is petrol. Then I have found some paint thinner. I have managed to find some hand sanitizing alcohol. So the first part is cleaning it out really well, then putting in JB weld and the pin with like a thin layer of grease, putting it together, waiting for 24 hours, and then hoping. This clever idea came from Toby. You've seen in the first episode, I was sending him videos and saying how deep in the rectal cavity am I? Turns out very. But this was his idea to make it better. Now I've started the fun process of putting this liquid steel, essentially you mix 2 epoxies together and becomes metal, inside that hole. Then 24 hours of waiting, and then a lot of praying that it works. So time has come to say goodbye to Hans. One tear.
But just one.
Just one. The second tear is when you die.
Yeah.
Because he's got a flight to catch. I have to deal with this
and some other stuff. So I'm staying here a bit longer. Hans is heading solo
Through the mountains.
to Kabul.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow him in a couple of days. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. I've really
me too.
enjoyed riding with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss you.
Me too.
I hope you're gonna be alright.
Yeah.
Then
And
I.
yeah, I will miss our conversations.
Yeah.
Like,
Likewise.
but I will not say not now which kind of conversations.
It is not PG 13.
Yeah.
It's PG 13 and a half.
Always full throttle if they're
throttle.
trying to shoot you.
Full throttle. Yeah.
I don't say it.
See you soon, man.
See you.
Transparent power. No? Okay, John. Bye-bye.
End of an era. I'm gonna miss Hans, and now it's back to the moment of truth. This has now been about 24 hours, and now I will have the amazingly fun task of trying to disassemble it. After a long time of percussive persuasion, it separated. The closest thing that I could find to hammer is this, thanks to my friend here who has provided the tool, and I've managed to hammer it off eventually. So now let's just hope that it survives for a while before I can get a replacement. Yay. In the next episode, we will explore historical Herat and then set off for the mountains of Afghanistan. Stay tuned.